Quick controls are something that Cubase has had for quite a while, but Cubase 7.5 adds a new feature called VST quick controls. Now let me show you the difference. Usually with quick controls, you can apply them to any track. For example, if we were to create a new audio track down here at the bottom, and then go to the project window and just add an audio track quickly, then let's go over to the Quick Controls tab in the inspector, and you can see that we have 8 different slots. But what do those slots control? Well, these 8 quick controls can be assigned to any parameter of that audio track. So if I click on the first slot, I can choose different parameters. For example, if I wanted the first one to be volume, and then the second one to be something a little bit more esoteric, like the strip control for the EQ of EQ number 1 being the frequency control. So now, right here on the screen, I can control not only the volume of the track, but I can also control specific EQ frequencies without having to change into a separate tab. But virtual instruments have their own 8 quick controls that are automatically predefined. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to the analog pad track that we made several tutorials ago. Since this is an instrument track, all of the quick controls were assigned when we assigned the instrument to that instrument track. So in other words, if we were to come to the quick controls settings, you can see that all of the quick controls for that particular VST instrument have already been assigned. Now, where do these come from? Well, they actually come from the VST instrument itself. If we look over here in our VST instrument rack, you can see the instance of Halion Sonic SE that was assigned to that instrument track upon the track's creation. And on this screen, you can see 8 individual quick controls. Now, if you can't see the quick controls, make sure that you have either this button enabled to reveal the quick controls, or you can also use this button to show and hide all of the quick controls on all of the VST instruments. That makes it a little bit more compact to work in if you're not using quick controls. But I want to see both of the tracks' quick controls, so I'll make sure that those are open. And just to show you where these come from on the instrument itself, I'm going to click the Edit button. That will bring up the Halion Sonic SE2 control panel, and in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, these are all of the quick control assignments. You can change them here, but let's just leave them in their factory default positions for right now. So I'm going to close the Halion Sonic SE2 control panel, and now you'll notice that if I come over here to the quick controls in the Inspector tab, when I move any of these parameters, they're also changing the quick control parameter on the associated VST instrument. But what about MIDI tracks that were made after you created the instrument? You see, since they weren't automatically assigned to a VST instrument, they won't have their quick controls assigned automatically. For example, when I click on the second track, this one we assigned to that same instance of Halion Sonic SE after the track's creation. In other words, we went over to the inspector and we told that track's output to go to the first instance of Halion Sonic SE on MIDI channel number 2. And you'll notice that when I selected this track, the slot inside of Halion Sonic SE2 was also selected right here. See? Channel 2. But what we can do now is populate all of the quick controls for that instrument into the MIDI track that's controlling it. So with this track selected, I'm going to go to the quick controls down here at the bottom, which you can see are all currently unassigned or blank. But what you can do is hit this little button to load the default quick controls from the plugin that that track is assigned to. And when I do, I get all 8 quick controls automatically assigned. So now I can control the cutoff or resonance or the filter attack time right here in the quick controls tab. And I could do the same thing with this track, which was assigned after the fact. That was placed on channel 13. So here it is assigned to channel 13 in the instrument rack. And now I can come to that track's quick controls and assign the defaults here. So here we have the same sorts of controls, cutoff, resonance, but some of the quick controls are different. See, this one is distortion, whereas in the other plugin, it was filter attack time. And then if you have a physical remote control surface that you use with quick controls, you can assign those to the new VST track controls, or if you're like me, I actually have 2 hardware controllers. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go to the Device menu and select Device Setup, and you'll now see that instead of having just one setting for the track quick controls, I also have VST quick controls. Now, the standard track quick controls I have assigned to my Steinberg CC121 controller, but the VST quick controls I have assigned to a separate hardware controller, which is my Steinberg CMC QC controller. And since those are assigned to my controller, I can now control those quick controls all simultaneously from my hardware controller to control the quick control defaults on any VST instrument. So those are the quick controls, and next I'll show you how to load track presets.